Hola mis amigos y amigas. It's Jeff, your parasocial friend Jeff. Your charming, interesting, funny, confusing parasocial friend Jeff. Hello, how are you? I hope you're thriving, as always. Am I thriving? I think I am thriving. I think I am. I still really enjoy my new apartment. I've had this lingering, cold congestion thing for the last week or two, and I am not sure if it's because there's more pollution in the area that I live in now, or if it's because I just have a cold of some sort. I'm hoping that it's the latter, but I kind of have a feeling it's like a combination of both the pollution and moderate cold. So, send some good vibes my way, because it's not that I'm sick. I'm just congested and I don't have the energy that I did 2 weeks ago. So there you go. Anyway, enough about me. This is the second re-released episode of onefjef, and it, like the last one, is a good one. Anastasija Katcyna, I hope I pronounced that right. She tells me in the episode how to pronounce it, but I forgot, so that's my best shot. I think it's right. Anyway, Anastasija is a fascinating human being, and I met her because she was one of my favorite yoga teachers in Columbus, Ohio. And it feels appropriate to re-release her episode now, not only because it's one of my favorites, but also because it's an expat story. Anastasija was born in Lithuania, in post-Soviet Lithuania, that is, and immigrated to Columbus when she was very young, and made it work. But it's a longer story than this, and you can hear all about it in the interview that follows. So I really enjoyed my interview with Anastasija, and I really enjoyed re-listening to it a few days ago, and I think that you will too. So without further ado, here's my interview with Anastasija Katcyna from September 23rd of 2025.
I will remember this.
Oh, good to know. See?
I will. Maybe in 10 years I'm going to be having many podcasts or, but I will remember this one because this is a new experience.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
And this is not type of experience of I'm not being expert.
Yeah,
no, I'm just
yeah.
being a human with all my flaws and, all my stuff, just like you are.
That's what I want the thing to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is episode 17 of onefjef.
17 is a prime number, the sum of the first four primes and the only prime between 16 and 18. In numerology, 17 reduces to 8, linked with ambition and success. And in Italy, it's considered unlucky because Steen can be rearranged to Vixi, meaning I have lived.
Have you lived? Are you living now? If you're listening to this podcast, you are, of course, living in the sense that you're existing as a being on this planet. But are you really living? If the answer is no, perhaps it's time for a change. Hello, my friends. I hope you're thriving. Since I got back from my road trip, I've been a bit overwhelmed. I feel like I'm at a turning point of some sort in my life, which has opened the door to lots of possibilities and decisions and so forth, which is exciting, but it's also stressful. I'm no stranger to making drastic changes in my life. But at 51, the idea of a drastic change feels a bit more daunting than it did when I was 29 or 32 or even 44. We all get stuck in our ways as we get older, and I think this, more than anything, is why I need to make a big change. I lived in Columbus for about 7 years, which is quite longer than I imagined I would, although I'm not sure how long I imagined I would. And since I got laid off earlier this year, I've had this nagging feeling that it's somehow time to go. I think that's why I've been traveling so much this year. And this feeling was reinforced in many ways during my road trip. And since I've been back, there have been several signs which indicate to me that the universe is agreeing with this nagging feeling. And when the universe is giving you signs, I feel like it's best to heed them, particularly when one of the signs is a crazy landlord who is growing increasingly unhinged. But I digress. As always, thank you to my new and continuing Patreon subscribers. You are all wonderful humans. I did put up a bonus episode just for my Patreon subscribers. I put that up this morning. And if you'd like to hear that, and also see the pictures from my road trip, and also help support the podcast, please do go to patreon.com/onefjef. For as little as $5 a month, you can help support the show and get a bunch of extra content. Perhaps not a bunch of, but you'll get some extra content. I don't know how you quantify a bunch. Everybody defines it differently, I imagine. But you will get extra content that nobody else gets to hear, except for you special humans. Patreon.com/onefjef. Today's guest is Anastasija Katcyna.
Is a somatic therapist, educator, and yoga teacher whose work integrates somatic experiencing, breathwork, movement, and expressive art. She holds a master's in public health and has training in somatic movement, dance and movement therapy, Katonah yoga, and trauma-informed modalities. Her focus is on helping people feel safe in their bodies, attuned to nervous system cues, and heal through embodiment rather than only through talk.
I met Stasia in a yoga class about a year ago. I was initially struck by her unique accent, which seemed somewhat out of place in Columbus, let alone in a yoga studio in Columbus. But she quickly turned into one of my favorite yoga teachers, both in this city or any city, really. Her classes are unique and challenging and fun in a way that's kind of hard to describe. If you get a chance, I highly recommend taking one of her classes. She also has a fascinating life story, which you'll hear in this episode. She grew up in post-Soviet Lithuania, and then she somehow ended up here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a story of looking for yourself in different places and different people, and then eventually finding yourself in yourself. It's a story that I very much relate to, and I think we can all relate to it in some way. I really enjoyed this conversation with Stasia, and I hope you will too. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Here's Anastasija Katcyna. I hope I pronounced that right. Apologies if not. I'll be honest, I have avoided, when I come into your yoga class, I kind of avoid saying your name because I don't want to butcher it. So I'm just kind of hey.
Hey, exactly.
So can you tell me how you actually say your name? Because
I'm going to give you a few versions.
Oh God, why are you doing that? I don't know why. Give me the best one.
Well, I can give you the best one between my friends and my family,
okay,
which is a short version, and it's Nastia.
Nastia, that's easy. All right.
That's it.
What are the other? Now I need to hear the other one.
The other one is Anastasija.
Anastasia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So think about it nice to see you,
right.
Anastasia.
Oh, that's
it
good.
rhymes well.
Yeah. I would have done Anastasia, and you'll probably get that all the time.
Yeah, and that too. It's more of a South America
right
pronunciation. Anastasia.
Anastasia. And what's your last name? How do you pronounce that?
Katcyna.
Katcyna. And where are you from?
Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let me tell you how you got on my radar. I was doing a free 1 month thing at Go last year at Go Yoga. Yeah. And, some of the teachers were okay, but I was going every single day at the time. And then one day you were subbing for somebody. And I was oh, there's an interesting teacher actually teaching here. And then I was at one of I guess it was a couple months after that, because I'd come to a bunch of your classes there. And then it was a couple months after that, we were at the sound bath thing. Mm-hmm. And I walked in, and you pointed at me, and you're I know you. Mm. And I was oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was a home sound bath.
Right,
yeah.
And then we figured out that Emily is a mutual connection, so weird, small town.
Yeah, Columbus is very small.
It is. The longer I'm here, the more I, realize that. For better or for worse, I suppose.
Yeah, I still don't know if it's better or for worse.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that we share similar feelings about where we live right now.
Are you from Columbus?
No, I grew up in Cleveland, and then kind of lived around the world. Lived in Korea for a little bit, lived in London for a bit, and then lived in Savannah, Georgia, went to school down there, and then was in New York for 10 years, and then I moved here about 6 years ago for a job. that I lost during COVID. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next.
Okay.
I'm presently unemployed. This is why I have time to do a podcast.
This is how it all starts.
Right. I mean, I'm already shopping for houses because this is a moneymaker. This is, I can feel the money rolling in.
Yeah.
How did you end up getting from Lithuania to Columbus, Ohio, where we are?
So this is my second time here. So I kind of moved to Columbus twice.
Wow.
So it's definitely some karmic. For sure.
Something's drawing you here. Right.
Why? Yeah. First time I came, I was 18 and I got a green card. So my mom got a green card. I got a green card because I was under 21.
Okay.
And then we just, at that time, it's like 2002. I mean, like, I think flip phones are still, we don't have a social media yet, right? So everything is slower and, getting documents and, there's many steps in order to get even the green card.
There's probably more now.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or opposite, they just simplified everything because,
Right.
And, so, and we just had, I literally didn't even have a, clue where we're going. So we were supposed to go to Florida. But then the company that we found, they said there was no space for us to stay and to work because you need somebody to provide you with work and a place to stay. So whenever you enter the country, you need an address. But if you don't have anyone, right? So there you go. So Columbus, Ohio.
Did you leave Lithuania was there a reason that you left?
Oh, no. I mean, it was just green card.
Just green card.
So you're kind of looking for
Okay.
opportunities. Just graduated from high school, and I mean, I had nothing to lose, so I just ended up going with my mom. Actually, two of us went there.
How was it growing up in Lithuania?
Fun. Now that I
good,
look back,
right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
It was a lot of fun. It was hard for my parents,
right?
For our parents. I didn't know any better.
How was it hard?
Well, what I remember, it's Soviet and then post-Soviet times.
Right.
And that's usually when, that's when I didn't really see my parents much.
Oh, okay.
So there was a time when Soviet Union collapsed and everyone had to just go and just make money, hustle.
Right.
Hustle, basically. You're either hustling or you're hustling. There's no other way.
And your parents figured out how to hustle?
Yeah. My mom figured out quite quickly.
Yeah, I was in Russia like 2 years after the Soviet Union collapsed, and it was just corruption and mafia kind of was the rule of the day at the time. Yeah. It
was a lot of that kind of you basically lawless kind of experience because the government, there's transition, transmutation, transformation, right? So people just take advantage of weak people.
Like they do.
Always. Gosh, you traveled a lot. Korea, London, Russia.
Yeah.
Iceland, I just learned.
Well, that was just that wasn't living, that was just visiting. But yeah. I'm trying to get, I'm unemployed, as I said, and I'm trying to get a remote job so I can kind of do the digital nomad thing because I'm 51, I'm unattached, I have no kids. What am I doing here? What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I ask myself the same question.
but you have a partner, so that's something, right? I mean,
Yeah. It's like every single situation has its pluses and minuses.
It sure does.
You always compromise. If it's not with your internal voice, then with the people around you,
I always feel like I'm kind of in a hurry. My kind of MO is I'm and it's a thing I always have worked on and am working on, but patience, because I feel like we've only got this one life, right? And I feel like I gotta do the stuff, right? I gotta live the thing, and I feel like that is why I get mad at people while I'm driving. You're interfering with my life. You're taking my time away.
This is your hypothesis.
This is how I can justify it. Yeah. I'll go doing therapy on Monday.
Do you think it's related for a lot with the age and just transitioning into the other half of century?
I think I've already. believe me, I've always been like this, so I think it's not really that. I do think that at a certain point, I don't know, it was probably, 5 years ago, after I'd moved here, I always kind of was feeling like I was living, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, but I always felt like I was living for like some future moment, that was coming, and that this wasn't life, And one day I just kind of snapped in me, and I was like, oh no, this is it. This is the thing that we're all, you know what I mean? Yeah. It seems like simple, but it struck me as being really profound and like meaningful in a weird, bizarre way. So,
yeah, I hear you. This is just kind of, the concepts. There's so many concepts, but then you need to have that felt sense.
Right.
Embodied, present moment to
right.
Like, okay, this is it.
There's no past, there's no future.
And this is it, right here, right now.
Yeah. I wanted to make t-shirts that said this is it for a while, but I asked a few people if they'd like that, and they were like, we'd think of the Michael Jackson album, because he had that album, and so I nixed that idea. Yeah. I made one for myself, though, and people seemed to like it, but then it got a stain. Good story.
I like this is it with the stain, or a coffee stain.
I don't know what the stain was. Blood stain would be even better. Culture shock coming from Lithuania to the United States. Did you speak the language at the time, or?
By the way, who is listening? We're drinking Topo Chico.
Oh yes, this podcast sponsored by Topo Chico. We are open for sponsorships. Thank you very much. By the way, always appreciate that.
Yeah. Cultural shock. When you're 18, you're like, you just won the world. You're like, wow, it's a big deal. Was it scary? Yeah, of course. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But that's when you do crazy stuff when you're young, because you just go into the next thing, It
seems like it could be kind of an amazing time to move to a new country when you're just 18, because it's like almost,
Yeah. It's like, you can explore and do whatever. And I'm so happy I did it when social media was not around, smartphones were, not there yet. So I really got a chance to experience States and here Columbus, Ohio, from the street level.
Right. And what were your initial, if you can remember, like thoughts about Columbus, Ohio? But it was the first place you were in the States, right? So it's,
yeah, exactly. So at that point, and again, you only create an opinion when you have something to compare with.
Right. So you're only comparing it to Lithuania.
So I'm just comparing to Lithuania when things are just picking up. Think about 2002, 1990, 1992. This is when it all started collapsing. So we really had only 10 years to bounce, change currency. It's yeah. So what I thought about it, was it cultural shock? Probably it was.
Right.
I don't remember that, how was it, to be honest.
And you were 18, so what did you do? Were you getting a school, or did you get a job? Or?
Oh my gosh. So with the green card, there is a loop in the system. You cannot get a job if you don't have a social security. But also you need to wait for social security. So you have a green card, but you don't have social security, and you cannot really go and just, get your employment.
Yeah.
And back then you don't get your social security number in 2-3 months. It takes forever.
Right.
So, illegal job in a hotel.
Oh, illegal job in a hotel. All right.
Yeah. For 3 months.
Which hotel was it, if you don't mind?
I don't know if it's there anymore. Hyatt on Capitol Square.
Oh yeah, I think it's Hyatt. I think it's actually where they put me up when I came in for the job interview for the job that I moved here for. Weirdly enough.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was the Hilton. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But then it was oh yeah.
Right.
So we were staying in the Whitehall.
Okay.
And then a bus. So you take bus to the Broad Street, and you just go into this big building.
Wow.
You're a little tiny person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun.
But
it was fun.
And you knew the language already?
No.
No, you didn't. Wow.
So I learned German in school.
Okay.
And then the plan was to study in German university.
Okay.
And then green card happened, so I just had to just learn English.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did. I took some classes, some private lessons with one of the teachers, but you only learn the language when you speak the language.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn Spanish, but it's just not. When I was in Mexico, I realized I should know more Spanish. But
if you don't practice, it's
right.
Yeah.
So was it how long do you think it took you to get from 0 to
what we are speaking
sure,
right now?
Yeah. It's basically this.
And it seems like it's
being
still
able to teach yoga and stuff.
Who knows? Because I moved here, stayed here, but then I left 9 years after that. Like I had a 10-year gap where I mainly, talked in Russian and Lithuanian. So I was just kind of forgetting and coming back to it, but after 9 years being here, you just kind of stay with the language. I will tell you though, after a while, I found out that I can apply for financial support studying in college and university, and that's when I went to Columbus State Community College.
Okay.
ESLs, and then eventually I think when I already got to OSU, that's when I'm I think I'm getting it. I can write papers without ChatGPT and so yeah,
it is helpful. Yeah. So you lived in Columbus for 9 years, and where were you doing in those 9 years? When did we can get to when, let me know when the yoga starts, but the 9 years in Columbus, you're how old at this point? 18 to by like 20, whatever, 25,
25, yeah. So basically, quite very fast found out I can study. So for me, it was, okay, I'm staying. My mom, we came together. We stayed for 6 months. She decided to come back because at the time she had a boyfriend, but they were not married. So she's like, I'm going home. And I'm like, okay, I'm staying because I have this chance to, try something. I'll stay. So I went to the college, stayed there, and then realized I can go to OSU. So basically that whole time it kept me, going. So I think, and it took me a while to graduate, to be honest, just because I was working several jobs and kind of supporting myself at that time.
Grinding.
So and so I would just take classes, not take classes, go back home, visit my family.
And what were you like at this point in your life? Like?
Partying. Gotta do it. Yeah, we were partying hard.
Yeah, me too.
And I was not associated with OSU kind of group of people.
Right.
There are a few friends that kind of, stayed together, but majority it was my Russian-speaking community. Okay.
Is there a big Russian-speaking community?
I think now it is and grown that time, but it also was this, everybody eventually knows, everyone knows everyone.
Right, especially if you're in such a small...
Yeah, exactly. So, big enough-ish,
Right.
Yeah.
So then why did you decide to leave Columbus? Why on earth would you ever want to leave Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah, right.
I know.
I knew it's going to happen. Like, there's, certain, just like with your felt sense of present moment.
Right.
Certain moments you're just, this is it.
Time to go.
Knew I was driving a highway one day and it was a summertime and it's just concrete everywhere. And I looked around like, I cannot be here.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting until I graduate, and nothing was really keeping me. I didn't have relationships.
Right.
And then I just, I can just go reconnect with my family and decide what I'm going to do next.
Right. So you went back to Lithuania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sold all my very little belongings.
Oh, I love it.
Got a good deal for the car, and
that's good. Yeah.
That's it.
So then you're back in Lithuania, and
back in Lithuania, and God, that was messy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
In what way?
I was depressed.
You missed Columbus.
Yes, exactly. I missed Columbus.
That happens to everybody, apparently. Yeah.
You know, and now I'm here.
Right now you're back. Yeah.
You graduate, you don't know what to do.
Well, you're living with your mom again, too, which is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that age.
I went back. Well, I have really good relationships with my mom.
That's good.
And I end up traveling and coming back and forth. And I went back, actually, to the States.
Okay.
Stayed for like 6 months, and I figured I just need to continue the education. So I end up flying to Scotland, Edinburgh, and studying in Edinburgh University.
Oh, right on. That's a pretty town.
Yeah.
Giant fucking castle right in the middle of town. How could you complain about that?
No,
right?
Yeah.
Not like Columbus at all.
Yeah.
That's what we need is a castle in the middle of the town.
We need to turn it down a little bit in Columbus.
I don't know what we need to turn down, though, but I think we could turn down Buckeye football just a little bit. Cult. We can do this. This episode also sponsored by Columbus, Ohio, the lovely city of Columbus, Ohio.
To be honest, you know, like what I found myself like being bitter, and then, you know, again it hit me another way when my partner and I were talking, and I was, you know. Can we curse here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was bitching about, you know, where I want to go, what I want to do, and how I miss home. And he's like, well, you realize this is my home. This is where I was born. This is my land.
Right.
Whether it's pretty, not pretty, this and this. And I'm like, of course, selfish of me. Because then I took him to Lithuania, to where I grew up. And he's like, this is not pretty at all, because it's a post-Soviet area of, you know, 3 or 4 factories that don't even function anymore, and it's just like very depressing, 5 stories, Soviet buildings. You know, nothing pretty about that.
Right.
But it's my land.
Sure.
And it's pretty.
Right.
For me.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what it looks like now.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's that's what it is.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of like I chose to be here, and there's a moment when I will choose to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I just feel like I think I get stir crazy. I mean, I was in New York for 10 years, and that was the longest I think I've ever been in one place except for when, like, childhood, you know, when I was growing up. And I just, you know, I don't know how long I expected to be here, but it's been more like 6.5 years now, and I'm just starting to feel, I don't know, like I've gotten all that I can get from here or something. But then again, everywhere you go, there you are. You know, there's one thing I've learned. Yeah. You know, wherever you go, you're still there with your head. So it goes. Yeah. And I feel bad because we've been not giving Columbus good. There's very wonderful. There's wonderful people here. Very, very friendly. Very low cost of living.
There's a lot of pluses.
Yeah. There's some. Just wish there was a little more terrain. You know, like just. A little bit, you know, a mountain or two. So how did at that point in this, I'm going to go back. Your dad, not in the picture? What was the story?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't catch that. Well, you know, my parents divorced early. And
how old were you when that happened?
Wasn't?
How old were you when they?
It started around when I was probably like 9, 8, 10.
So
12.
old enough to remember.
Yeah, old enough to remember. Yeah, exactly. And it was just, you know, we would keep in touch. Right. But not like any.
Right.
Good relationships, I would say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you're back in Lithuania, and you are depressed because you're back in Lithuania. Maybe you're feeling purposeless. Who knows what it is?
Purposeless, you know, what do you do? Then I go to Scotland, you know, study there.
Oh, that's right, Scotland.
There is a moment in Scotland, again, that moment when you're like, do I turn left or do I turn right?
Yep.
And again, I turned the wrong direction.
Well, you know.
I had to, you know, make a like final decision to start studying, and everything in my body was saying no. And I wish, you know, I remember I had a conversation on the phone with my mom. Right. And I told her just a few weeks ago when we were talking, like, I wish you would just tell me, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Why do you think you shouldn't have done it?
Because I was lost. It just, when you're lost, and you're in kind of this kind of survival mode. You just grab into anything that will anchor you down, and anything that give you some kind of sense of, all right, I'm here. I know what to do, which I am obviously don't know.
This is who I am right now.
This is who I am right now. Yeah. And there's a bunch of concepts of idea if I'm going to get my master's, yada yada yada. All of these things. So
what'd you study?
Public health.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay. No.
I just didn't enjoy it. I don't really enjoy academics after all. I love studying, researching. But academics, it's just a different animal.
Yeah.
You have to really have like a very specific mindset in order to stay there and be there. And I'm really bad at tests. Bad, so bad.
I can. When I was in Korea, I lived in Korea for like 2 years teaching English, and I was kind of aimless, and I just went there, and I knew I had to leave because people stayed there too long because it was just a good life and you're having fun with all these expats and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm either going to go. At the time, I was really interested in Middle Eastern studies, and it was like Middle Eastern studies, or I'd always been documenting things my whole life. I was really into film, and I kind of taught myself how to edit when I was there. So I was like, well, film school or Middle Eastern studies. So I applied to both, and ended up going to film school and going into a lot of debt. But that's a whole nother story. But like, that was the right direction for me because like. I look back and I'm like, I could never have done Middle Eastern studies. Yeah. Jesus, like finishing all those, you have to read all these books, these papers. Yeah. And film school was great because it's not about tests or anything. It's just about doing creative stuff. And
Yeah. Remind me though, did you actually, after graduating, that was your main occupation around the
film? I'm mostly like a video editor. That was my jobs for, I directed some stuff. I made some short films like when I was in New York, and they did well. They were short films. They did well, but they're like it's very hard to make films. You need a lot of people and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the last thing I made was really good, but didn't do very well for a variety of reasons. And it was just like, I think I had a realization, not to get too down a rabbit hole, but like, and it's some part of this podcast really is like, this last project I made, it was a web series, and it was fun to make. But again, we were thinking about the future. Who's going to see this, right? Because that's going to get us a door open and whatever, And it didn't, and it was surprising because everybody seemed to love it. And then I think I had a realization where it's like the joy has to come from the doing of the thing itself, not from the expected or hoped outcome, right? Yeah. It has to come from the experience of doing the actual thing. Which brings me to the podcast, which is like, if people listen and they don't listen, and again, Topo Chico, we will take your sponsorship. But like, for me, it's just like almost an excuse just to talk to people and then to make something creative out of it, And I'm enjoying it for the most part, anyway.
But can I say something? Have you seen Brutalist?
I did.
Okay. Do you remember her speech when she says it's not about the journey, it's actually about the destination?
When she did the switch, yeah.
Because it's also about the context,
Right, for sure.
The context that she was in, and why it was about the destination.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting film. So you finished the public health, and then
I get even more depressed.
Life.
Yeah, and then I go back home to Lithuania. Like, okay, summertime, I can stay, hang out. It's fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna go back to the States and continue something. And then I meet a boy.
Here we go. Yep. Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah. And I end up staying
in Scotland.
In Lithuania. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, into 6 years.
Wow.
Of relationships, yeah.
Wow. But 6 years is a long time. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then break up.
And how is the depression, like, I'm feeling like at some point we're getting to a place where we realize that the depression is coming from inside and perhaps not in changing things around you, but in, changing.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. But the 6 years with the boyfriend were good?
On and off.
Oh, okay. All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into details.
No, that's all right.
Let's keep the.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be another theme for the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Different. That'll be the next second episode.
I've learned a lot. It was a very interesting experience for me. For those relationships. Open up a lot of doors for esoteric world.
They make you see yourself as well. Like, I mean, I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? I guess is my question.
Oh, just the person that I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
He opened a lot of doors of something I never considered.
Now you have to tell me tell me one of the doors.
Like Tantra, for instance.
Oh, okay. So it kind of opened your door to the yoga kind of world. Okay.
Like something that is, beyond a everyday life and just linearity of past, present, future.
Right.
Different type of conversation.
Right.
Different way of spending time. Yeah.
It's funny how meeting a person kind of changes your life in ways that you don't expect because you're introduced to this whole other way of thinking that you didn't even wasn't even on your radar. Right. Yeah. So then through him, or keep going. You 6 years with
because you really want to learn about yoga. Seems like to me.
No, I mean that's how I know you. I'm just curious to know. I think I'm just curious about like it's interesting to meet people who come from other places in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I enjoy the experience of being like a traveler because I like feeling like a stranger. Like I don't know what it is about it, but feeling like a foreigner in a foreign country. I really enjoy that experience. So to me, it's interesting too, because Columbus is a very homogenous city. And so to come across a yoga teacher that was not from here was surprising to me. Yeah,
and actually like even teaching here, and I don't even know many foreigners in yoga studios.
No, it's super white,
Yeah, well, the relationships, I kind of went back and forth. I lived in London probably altogether for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And then my family and I, we opened a vegetarian bistro.
Oh, nice.
And it was a fun experience. But, when you're small business, you have to really, you have to have a plan. What are you going to do next?
Right.
And then if you're, you're not doing the next thing, you're just going to kill you.
Yeah. Was this in Lithuania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then eventually I just got exhausted. So it was kind of the moment of getting exhausted from relationships and also work. And I had a very interesting encounter. Let's call this person healer.
Okay.
And they basically told me that whatever you're doing, you gotta stop because you're gonna have consequences. And I knew it because it was a lot of stress.
Okay.
And a lot of just keep going, and you're not sure where we're going, and you're like, I don't think I'm enjoying this moment. It's not bringing me joy. I'd rather go to just destination. So that was the moment, and that happened to me several times in life when I hit the point when we're done.
Yeah.
I packed my bags and I just went for 3 months to Norway so I can decide what I'm going to do next.
All right.
And that was a new chapter in my life.
How did you stumble upon the guy who gave you the advice? Or told you
through my boyfriend at the time.
All right,
because he was taking care of his mom, and I just went together, ended up, getting a session as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a very health related, and I knew that it's just a matter of time when something's going to happen.
It's ironic that you were working you were running a vegetarian restaurant at the time when it was health related. Yeah.
Think about the yoga studios, though. I hear it all the time.
Like what?
Studios, the business aspect of it and how people are overworked, and you gotta really know how to handle your stuff, So the paradox and
because it's gotta be a money making venture, but also you're trying to be
and then so there's
how do you walk that line? Right. And it does seem like the teacher training thing. It just seems like it's so expensive, and I was going to do it at one point, but it was like $3,000. And like, I don't want to be a yoga teacher. I just want to go through the philosophy and all that kind of thing. I just wanted to, but it was way too much money for my kind of, it was too much for me at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad I didn't do it, frankly. But the studio's got to make money. So, you got to do it.
Well, everyone's doing for their own reason, different reasons. It's the first thing. And I will disagree. I think 3,000 for states, it's normal money.
No, I'm not saying it was crazy expensive for like a teacher training at all. No.
Because like I know the work, there are a lot of work behind the scenes.
No, I wasn't suggesting it was expensive for teacher training. It was
it's for you.
For me.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't call it teacher training almost. I feel like they should call it like, I don't know, deepen your practice or something, because I don't think most people are going to go and be teachers.
They're not.
Yeah.
Some do, some not.
Right.
And it's kind of like this is the evolution of yoga in the first place. It cannot stay the same no matter what. You do have the ancient wisdom, but some of it will just evolve as we're changing. So it is probably, we should call it something else now. But it is
the whole yoga thing, or teacher training, right?
And the whole yoga probably.
A new name for yoga?
To be honest.
Let's try to think of one.
Embodied practice, or I don't know.
That doesn't have a ring to it. Yoga's got a good 2 syllables. Yoga.
Yeah.
It's really good.
But with the teacher training, it's just, it just became available, accessible. If you really think about it, at least like I can speak from my perspective, or the stories that I've heard. Even like in 80s, 90s, like in this Soviet times, it was like you had to look for the information of yoga. Like it would be some scraps of copies of paper just given to you underground in some basements, and people like secretly study and practice, So for a while it was not available. Now it's available. Now you can just,
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. When you were in Lithuania, were there yoga studios and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah. Studios, I was practicing there more of a classic.
Right.
Classic.
Right.
Kind of, you're not very adjusted. You just practice.
Do you remember the first time you did yoga?
I went to the gym. I was here in the States, in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And and then I reached the point, I think it was like around 25, 24, when I would be in the party and I would just ask myself, what's the point of everything? We're getting into that. So I would just ask people random questions. Be like, what are you talking about? So
have another drink. What are you doing?
Yeah. And eventually drink yourself into
let's go.
Blah. And then the next morning you wake up like, well, wait a second.
Yeah.
Something's off here.
Yeah.
And I think it's also was about I took a Asian philosophy class in the OSU. And I think that was also already grooving stuff for me.
Huh. Yeah. What about it? Do you remember anything particular?
Just a whole new way of looking at life. Just that was fascinating and so novel for me. So I think that was plenty on just kind of sit down with that and contemplate and try to understand. Yeah.
Right. Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're in Norway. You're by the fjords.
By the fjords.
Work. What are you doing for work?
I was working in the hotel.
Okay, hotel.
Housekeeping. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I worked behind the front desk at the hotel in London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't love it, but there was a crazy Turkish woman who was the boss, and she literally was. Yeah.
Well, London crazy enough for what it is,
Yeah. I mean, I liked her. She still follows me on Instagram, so that's
You still keep that connection.
Yeah, we got that real strong bond still.
There you go.
Talk about the old days a lot. Remember that time you yelled at me for moving the boxes? Yeah.
Those are sweet times, though.
Oh, they were.
How old were you? How old were you?
I'm 51.
No, how old were you when you were
At the hotel?
Yeah.
26, 27.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah, it was good. I was not in a good... I didn't know what was going on with me, or I was just kind of in a weird, I hadn't... Yeah. But I did enjoy it. Yeah. I got to travel over Europe and stuff, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah, it was
it's
good.
kind of like a work that you just don't have to invest too much of your attention.
Right.
You clock in, you clock out, and then you go and, have
And most of
fun.
the time I was just like on the computer because it was still, it was exciting.
Yeah.
It is interesting though that growing up in Lithuania, you got to see a lot of Europe, like that's where you traveled probably, right? When you went.
Some people expect, but I didn't really travel that much. I think
Okay.
I'm catching up now. Every time I
okay.
go home, I'm
Right.
like, we're going there, 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 and there. Yeah. I just end up staying longer in places. So that was just a different experience because
Right.
one thing when you just go there and stay for a week or two, but you actually immerse yourself into, oh, this is what commute like is in London every single day from zone 1 to 2 to, and then this is how you spend half of your life in London underground. That was the moment when I realized the city is eating me and I cannot, I don't live my life
The
anymore.
subway?
Yeah,
Or
and just
the
the city
tube,
itself,
yeah.
the tube, just the commute from point A to point B.
Yeah, I lived in the hotel that I worked at, so it was great. I just walked upstairs.
Yeah.
But as a result, I didn't see as much of the city as I would have because I was always stuck in a certain neighborhood.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Gosh, life is a lot about redundancy, isn't it?
It sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this bringing together just to kind of talk about it.
Yeah, how often... I was talking to a friend, and this is a couple months ago, and I was like, when's the last time you just sat down with somebody and talked to them for like an hour or two?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't actually remember. I mean, we had some beers last week, and, you talk, but it's not like a focused, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like a thing that's going away, and I think that it's kind of gone away. COVID did a lot to help it kind of, but even before that, I think it kind of was starting to go away. And I think it's community too. Like you could go on a whole trail about why we're losing the ability to like have conversations and why, but like it's unfortunate, it's a loss of community is what we've lost, and it makes me sad. So
Norway, beautiful time.
Sure.
Gosh, amazing time. So good.
Made you happy?
It just like switched something inside.
Like the place or the experience in the place?
The experience in the place. People, a lot of nomads there. People just kind of go from one place to the next. Seasonal jobs. You see, you see so many different cultures.
Right.
All the cruise ships are just.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's and then I also got very lucky to get there when it was like an anomalically hot summer.
Which means how hot was it?
Like it was hot probably as it is now here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for Norway, it's very unusual.
Right.
It's usually opposite, and it's quite rainy summertime, and
Right.
you don't really get too many sunny days. And that was just 3 months straight up sun, and you hike and you swim in the fjord. We're swimming in the fjord.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a pure summer.
Oh, that's nice.
It was a summer, like European summer experience.
It was the movie summer.
Yes,
Right.
totally.
Right. Yeah.
Eventually, because my partner, he has Norwegian blood, and then
Okay.
we went there back. Just
They went back.
I wanted him to see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
The same place.
same place. Also.
You didn't meet him there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
No.
Strange though that you ended up after that Norway thing that you ended up finding a partner that has Norwegian.
Yeah.
Strange, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everything is.
Yeah, if you look at it the right way, for sure. Yeah.
Everything is.
Yeah, and then some days I'm like, no, everything's, if you can't see me, I can describe it.
Yeah,
was
some
making the
days
frantic
everything
gestures
feels
with my hands.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I say if it feels off, you just pause, slow down, and just kind of,
Yeah, see, that's the hard part for me. The slowing down part is the hard part. Yeah. Working on it. It's never too late.
No.
So after Norway, where did you go then?
I'm going to skip part of the story because that's when there was another relationships happening.
Okay.
But I don't want to have this conversation become about the relationships.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
But that was the moment of, for me, just very transformational because I met somebody.
Okay.
And because I met somebody, I just end up going, whoa, you're just going back and forth, and then you change your mind to stay in Europe, not go to the States. So I just end up going back to Lithuania,
Right.
Went back to Norway again, and, continued the relationships. And then eventually pandemic happened. February 14th, I think, I came here to the States.
Just in time.
Just with a business trip. And we had to extend the trip because none all, the paperwork wasn't done on time. So we extended my trip. And that's exactly when everything started to shut down.
And you're in Columbus?
Yeah.
It trapped you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know why. I already did my personal work and understood what was happening for me at the time.
Right.
So, but it was just interesting that, it's not happening just to me.
Right.
It's happening for me and the rest of the world.
Right.
So everyone's learning something for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my ticket back to Lithuania was February 28th, which is my birthday.
Right.
So I'm just I never went back.
So the gentleman you were dating just was still in Norway at the time?
It was a woman.
A woman, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to assume.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Norway at the time?
She was in her home country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how that ended, because you got stuck in Columbus because of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So then you've been here ever since?
Never been here.
COVID did it.
COVID did it, yeah. It was very logical to come here because I already had some good friends, from back in the day. And it was, I knew the city, so.
But still, it's odd to come to a place just thinking you're visiting and then ending up having,
Deep down inside, there probably was many times when I was thinking, I probably need to, go back to the States.
All right.
One way or another.
And
sometimes the life, it does it for you.
Yeah.
While you're thinking here, we're going to do the thing.
We're going to force your hand.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then it was another mess,
Right.
staying here. And after 10 years not being here, no credit card, no, the credit score, no place to stay, you just kind of go.
So what did you do?
Hustled. But I stayed with my friend, and then I quickly found my partner.
Okay.
Yeah. We kind of we were connected. We know each other for many years.
Oh, okay.
Over 15 years.
So you knew him from the last time you were...
Wow. From the very first time.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it just happened.
I like that.
Yeah.
And when did you start getting into I'm going to go into the yoga somatic training, all that kind of stuff. When did you start getting into heavy into that? Was that in was that in this last Columbus jaunt, or was it before that you started to?
Columbus 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the time when I was asking myself a lot of questions that I couldn't get answers. And I got very sick for almost 2 weeks with a high fever. Mm-hmm. And then one day I woke up. It was a Friday night, 8 p.m. Mm-hmm. And I'm I'm gonna do the teacher training. I don't have money, but I'm going to do the teacher training. And I found a teacher here in Columbus. I emailed her and I started studying in the next couple of months, I think, or something like that.
Was it just regular yoga, or was it the
Hatha, Ashtanga, and Hatha.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like a whole thing. I was fasting for a week while and, studying, and I was just asking too many questions.
And then you ended up actually teaching.
I didn't actually.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I finished the teacher training, and then it was very quick when I got my degree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm done here. I need to go home.
Okay.
And I didn't teach for several years. And I barely practiced. I lost the flavor of yoga because it was not fixing my problem.
Oh, yeah.
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 Because I was putting a lot of expectations. Yoga will help me.
It's funny how that works. It's like with meditation too. I feel like I don't notice that it's working until I notice that it's working, if you know what I mean. And by working, I mean that I'm actually able to have some distance between myself and my thoughts and whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But like, it's one of the things that I struggle to maintain as a practice sometimes because the effects aren't immediately apparent, as opposed to like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I know that if I do it, it'll be good for me in the long run, because I feel like, to me anyway, it's like it's a path, right? It's not the thing.
Yeah.
So, but, and I think probably the same with yoga too, because like I'll do it like every day for like months, and then suddenly I'll just be like, yeah.
I mean, you have to trust the tool.
Right.
You gotta trust the tool. And if you don't know how to use it, and if your life in a way is messy, it's always implicit and explicit. You cannot yoga your way in. You cannot, by practicing yoga, solve the problems that on the everyday life. You still need to address them.
Yeah, for sure. You still got to eat.
You still got to eat. You still have to show up for
Right.
whatever that is.
Right.
So, and that's when it's not just inside, and not just you fix your stuff and practice yoga, basically.
For me, it's part of fixing the stuff. It's all part and package, like fixing me and those all. Yeah. And what I have no idea, and I've always wondered, what is the somatic therapy that you've been doing? Because Emily mentioned, I think she did a session and she really liked it, and I was
Yeah. Well, somatic therapy came to my life after I entered the space of dance and movement therapy in Lithuania.
Okay.
So I did yoga. I went, that's when I met my, at that time, boyfriend. And that's when I started getting into all different kind of practices. Mm-hmm. And Lithuania full of that. Very esoteric, very pagan. You can find anything, basically.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why that is.
Good, like a little mecca for the stuff. We have a big festival that, summertime goes for, I can't remember, 10 days or 2 weeks, and they bring all practitioners from all over.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is? In like Lithuania, it seems somewhat random.
I think Lithuania is spiritual.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. There's something about it, just the way. A kind of paganism, I think, teaches you a little bit of that, is that, you worship nature.
Huh.
You worship seasons.
Right.
You worship time. The way it changes, So the relationship with the environment is,
right.
Yeah. More intimate.
For sure. Say. Yeah.
So, and I don't remember how I got into this dance and movement therapy, but I entered the space and it just cracked me open. Mm-hmm. It was just instant. Something just that was like things are just not going to be the same. Huh. And they weren't. the movement, the expression, the vulnerability in a group of people was just insane.
What is it, if you don't mind me? I'm ignorant of what somatic yoga or what somatic therapy actually is.
So somatic therapy is like an umbrella term.
Okay.
Right. So there's many different modalities. Dance and movement therapy is considered to be somatic because it works bottom to top.
Okay.
So it's a body-oriented, bottom-to-top approach. Okay. So rather than thinking through it, you're feeling, sensing through it.
Okay.
You're working with the nervous system, with the body, sensations, emotions. The inquiry happens through the body.
Right.
With the body.
That's the thing I struggle with. My therapist is always like, how does it feel? I'm upset. How does it feel in your body? And I I've started thinking more about that just because but it's just not something that comes naturally to me. But really all emotions are just feelings in your body. Like that's, I think, where they all, I don't know the science on that, but you know what I mean? But yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I wonder I should try it.
We can talk about it more. I can explain you.
Yeah.
Unless it goes into this conversation, why would it be so hard for you to feel it in the first place? And,
right, of course.
How you can, slowly practice your way into it, just like you do it in mindfulness and yoga and stuff
right.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he's smiling right now.
Thank you for describing. No video. How do you feel about Columbus now? You've been here for a total of what? 8, 9, 15, 14 years total, something like that? In total?
Oh, yeah. Altogether, probably is going to like 13 years or something. Yeah. I mean, there's many times I'm grateful because this is when I actually was able to go back to teaching yoga and, teaching the way I'm teaching right now. Columbus definitely gave me that opportunity to do many mistakes.
Right.
And especially teaching after pandemic.
Right.
And then also starting my own practice as a somatic therapist. And then now it's the time when I know that I'm going to be gone soon.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, where are you going?
I have no plan, but we're going.
Oh, all right.
This is it.
When do you think you're going to go?
Oh, there are conversations.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
right.
Sometimes you don't want to say it out loud, so you don't want to ruin it.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows when this will air? You might already be gone.
Yeah. What's that?
Who knows when this will actually be on the, you might already be gone by then.
Yeah. Come over visit for part 2.
Right. Well, it depends on where you end up. Yeah.
Oh, no, wherever I go, it's going to be a good place.
Right. In the States, you're thinking, or somewhere else in the...
Maybe States, maybe not.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Time for a change. And your partner's down with it?
I mean, he has no choice. No, he is down. He would love to. He's like, it's time, for him as well.
Yeah, you got to at some point actually get out of Columbus. If only to come back, but still.
Hey, if I would be right now in a place when I want to have children.
Oh, for sure.
Like if I would have a very specific intention, I would do this.
Yes.
I know why, and that's the reason, because, I know how other parts of the States are. That would make sense, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So why, Yeah. And that's all it really is.
It is I do. It's like I moved from New York where, it's fine to be single at 51 and have no kids. It's kind of normal almost, to here where like almost all my friends, a lot of my friends anyway, have kids, a family, and all these things. And it's it's just a different way of it's not a great place to be single and childless because in your 50s, just because it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You gotta find a remote job and go somewhere else where you can. Because
I don't want to. Or maybe I'll meet somebody here and then end up having a family. And I'll be like, but I don't want to do that, though. So I've also been talking about like getting a job, like a remote job, for so long now that I feel like if this is 2 years from now or 5 years from now, if I'm still talking about it, it's probably,
Yeah.
I'll delete that
Well,
part.
we need to sit down and be honest with ourselves. And are we doing something about that? Because we can get really stuck in the place where just talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Do the thing, whatever that is. And I was just reminded the other day, I was longing for that, my younger self that was just doing random things. We just talked about it and we just touched the tip of the iceberg,
Right.
just a quick one. But I'm like, I miss her. What the fuck happened,
Right.
I want to go back and become a little bit more honest and a little bit more raw and just do it, because for me it's not anymore about the destination point, because I know exactly what the destination is.
Yeah, I think it's like forcing myself to get out of my comfort zone. Like, I feel like the older I get, I don't know about everybody, but I think most people, as they get older, you get very stuck in routine and things like this. And it becomes harder to want to do new things. So I feel like in my life, the comfort zone outside of that has been where all the good stuff always happens.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I almost make a deliberate effort just to do that, because what else is life for aside from...
Exactly.
And
it's easy to just get calcified and yeah.
It's easy to not do stuff. It's real easy.
I've noticed that myself. And again, I really want to blame this on Columbus. But there would be a moment when I just cannot get out of the house. I just can't. Like, dude, like, what's happening?
Yeah, and so I work remotely for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. And I'm just here in my house by myself. And it started to drive me like legitimately crazy, because it's just like, I'm, not interacting with human beings. It's just like, and I wouldn't want to go back to an office, but it was also just like, yeah. And I thought about doing this many times when I had that job, because I was like, well, that'd be a neat way to like at least interact with people.
Yeah.
But better late than never, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't good, the working remotely thing. And it was politics too, which is not good for the brain at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was post-pandemic, post-pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, we think, that we're in the same place. We're not. We're just never going to be the same.
Oh, yeah. No. I think that between the pandemic and the internet, I think that there's something cracked. And I think that, I don't know how it fixes itself, but there's something kind of cracked in the world now. And I can't describe it or put a finger on it, but it's a result of too much information and too much stimulus and all these different things. And this is why we have, Donald Trump and all the other bad people doing bad things. Yeah. Of course, there's always bad people doing bad things. It's just not always been so visible.
Everything's changing.
Yeah.
And then faster we just get over ourselves, then easier it will become, literally. So everything changes in a way. Nothing stays the same. We cannot also sit and like say they and us.
Oh, I agree totally with that.
We're still part of the whole experience, whether it's just America or the whole world. It's.
Yeah, I do feel like there are friendlier places to be, though. Like I was in Mexico City, and the vibe felt lighter. And maybe it was just because I was a tourist or a foreigner in a foreign land, but it just felt. I had a friend who came from New York to stay with me for like a week, and he lives in Brooklyn, and he was like, when I walk down the street in Brooklyn, like there's always one person who will scowl at me or something or give me a, and he's like, I don't get any of that here. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. There's not a lot of like negative energy on the streets or whatever. I mean, there's occasionally, sure, but bad vibes. Anyway, who knows? Guatemala, though. Have you been to Guatemala? That's where I want to go, to Guatemala.
No.
Yeah. Central America and stuff. Yeah.
Those places, I think, also have a long-standing culture to back them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's something about that just either that's devotion or the culture itself the interaction with families, between families, with elders, and I think it's important.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah. I do think that there's a particular thing in America where it's like the idea of the American dream versus what's actually the reality in America right now, which is not that great. I mean, it's better than a lot of places, but for a lot of people, they're not doing well at all. And I feel like that's why. And I think it's like a circle, right? It's like the idea of America running into the reality of America, and it's kind of circling something like that.
Roman Empire had a downfall.
True, and it was because they went bankrupt.
What's happening now here?
I know. That's just what I'm saying.
It's, you know, if you really think from or step aside and just really look at the way nature works, the way seasons change, the way everything revolves and then changes, and that's what I was saying about the change. It will change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you have to wake up every morning and still deal with certain things? Absolutely. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely.
Or do we have to deal with them? That's the question that I have a lot, though. Like, I'll read the news, but am I dealing with it? Is it doing anything? Like,
yeah.
I honestly, like, maybe it's because I worked in politics, but, like, I don't have a lot of, like, anxiety or, like, anger about what's going on in the world, what's going on in the country, because it doesn't do anything. My anxiety is not going to change anything. My worry is not going to change anything.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably what they want, right? It's probably like winning for them, if in a way for you to sit there and be anxious about things. But then the question becomes is when does it start to personally affect me?
Yeah.
Right? Because like right now, me and most of my friends, we haven't been in a profound way affected. But I think if and when it starts to truly like affect me and my friends, that's when your perspective changes on the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just anxiety or whatever. It's just posting on Instagram or whatever people are doing to.
Yeah. It's a little discomfort.
Sure.
Yeah. And life is about, it's uncomfortable often.
And people want to be angry at something.
Right.
People are addicted to anger and fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drama addicted, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a drama addicted. Like, I want to see some drama that gives me that rush.
Right. Right.
Whether it's the whatever that is, whether it's the angry stuff, fearful stuff, or just somebody had a bad day or whatever. It's a drama addiction. It's a nervous system that runs on sympathetic.
Right.
It's a survival, mode. And it's, if your system is on this mode, you will be looking for stuff like that.
Sure. But then you got cute kittens on the internet too, though. That's always nice.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
You kind of like feed your sympathetic, and then you go to the kittens, and then you feed your parasympathetic, and you just ride the wave.
Right.
Then you go take yoga, and then, whatever.
Did you just teach yourself how to do that Instagram content you're doing? Because as a video editor, I'm like, that's solid. You're like I'm like, oh, well done. Like, I'm not trying to, but like, it's like well edited and cleverly, like,
put together.
Yeah.
Teaching myself.
Do you use the editor in the app?
Like just CapCut.
CapCut.
Yeah.
I just wish everything wasn't Instagram now. I just wish that it's become like an everything box for like, if I want to put out a movie or something, I'll probably put it on Instagram, or if I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And do you have anything else besides Instagram?
No, I don't have TikTok. I had to get rid of that because that's just the devil's.
Well, think about people who actually also, do the TikTok. Like some of my friends send me TikTok. I'm like, don't send me. I don't have time for this.
I criticize my phone usage a lot, like in my head. Like I'm like pretty cognizant of it, but like the amount of time some people spend on their phones, like just scrolling, is insanity.
Yeah.
I learned about it with people, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually not so bad, right? I'm actually doing all right.
Apparently.
I thought I was in bad shape here, but people are sitting there for hours just looking at Instagram videos.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the digital detox like a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
With my partner, first.
How long was it
Just
for?
24 hours.
Oh, okay.
But it was like no devices at all.
Right.
So you don't have none of that. Like you're not touching computer, no pad, no TV, none of that.
Right.
You're just fully on. Yeah.
You have lights though.
Yeah, I mean, not the electricity. Yeah,
okay.
Just anything that device.
That'd be
device
hardcore to
related.
do it. Like no electricity, even like go Amish, go like
Ooh.
full Amish.
That's possible.
Throwing it out there next time.
Possible.
All right.
Totally.
So how did it go with the?
It was fun and also like unexpected, to be honest. To you kind of have this idea like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. But if you really think about it, it just kind of goes into, oh, I cannot use maps, or I cannot use my parking my car, because you can still go
Right.
and do the coffee shop, right? Or there is some things, and then because you don't have the movement, the motion of the phone or the entertainment, you start seeing, really noticing things that you have not noticed before. We end up going to like a gallery that we never pay attention before. We end up drawing, at home half of the evening, probably reading to each other. Like we were reading to each other.
Love it.
We end up walking like German village like 12 a.m. just like at night. Just
Why don't we do this all the time?
I don't know.
Well, no. I mean, that's the question I'd be asking myself when I was doing digital detox and walking around at midnight, saying, "Why don't I do this every night?"
Yeah.
What's the thing that most people get wrong about you?
Ooh. I think people probably think that I'm like too. I am kind of bold, and I kind of say what I think. I can seem this way.
Yeah.
Or I may seem that I'm just Eastern European girl,
Right.
But deep down inside, I'm very like a softie.
Right.
What about you?
What about me?
What people, think?
Oh, what people get wrong about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. See, that's the thing. I've been confronted with this in past interviews where people are like, "What about you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I should probably have an answer for all these questions if I'm going to ask them myself." What do people get wrong about me? I think people think that I'm just. I think a lot of people think that I'm just, because I am just kind of a joke-making person, just like sarcastic. I make wisecracks all the time. I think that becomes a lot of people's like impression of me. I'm just going to make some sarcastic comment about it, which is true to a degree. Like I do that. That's part of my, but it's also not all of me. Yeah. So I don't know if that's anything somebody gets wrong about me, except for thinking that that's all that I am. But that would be
okay. Yeah. I think that it's a type of question that we need to ask each other. So, for instance, if you would ask me what people get wrong about you, I can give you the answer.
All right, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah, and then that's how that could be a way. And I give you an example because you don't seem very talkative person.
Okay.
And or I would say just reserved.
Like in yoga class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. I'm not very social in yoga class.
But in general, even outside, there's this demeanor. But again,
no.
This is where we're answering the question to what it seems to me, right?
I'm hearing you.
So it's just demeanor itself. You're there, you come in, very quick, hello, bye, this is it. Now we're sitting here, you're chatty. You're asking questions like, whoa.
But the difference is it's safe here. That's the difference for me in my head. It's like, I was thinking about this as I was taking a walk the other night. I'm like, why am I enjoying this podcast? Because it allows me an opportunity to be like, reach out to people that I want to talk to and learn more about. And if we need the context of this, that's fine with me. Because like, I have like, I would say insecurity from childhood and, so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of, me shutting down because of experiences from my childhood that fucked me up. And so, but I'm much better than I used to be. And actually, it's nice to hear that, you saying that, because it actually is pretty enlightening in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think this is how we kind of, like I always say, it's really hard to know what is the label when you're sitting inside of your own jar.
Right.
That's why getting that, that like perspective from another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of mine for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that it's kind of what you said in a way that I think that a lot of people, you come across as kind of, yes, Eastern European kind of, but really like you're like a little goofy.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, I wouldn't think about it, but now that I'm thinking about yoga classes, yeah, I like to joke a little bit, or I would like to goof more, but yoga seems to be so serious, and it's just how hard to move people, like, because you need that. You cannot do it on your own. You need that somebody else to go with you on that journey,
Yeah, no, I get it.
And like so much pressure is put on you because you are teaching, you are leading the class. And if you're like, and there's no response, I'm like, okay, let's just.
I would say that I totally understand what you're saying, but like one of my biggest frustrations with yoga, and I really struggle to find classes that I really like. Mm-hmm. I find that a lot of classes are just kind of the same cookie cutter kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of this generic music in the background, and music is a thing. If you're going to have music, at least have, either have it very faint or have it, but don't just play me generic anyway.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I hear you. And you're also from the film background, so you're very,
I want to produce the yoga class.
Produce the sound. I would play it.
I have this idea of like a yoga class, like a studio that's got like great lights, like really good, like crazy weird lighting, because I actually got some bizarre lights, and then like an incredible like sound system as well, and it becomes a whole thing where you can go and you can, have a whole experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, my point being, you're doing something different and unique and interesting to me, and I think a lot of people are feeling that as well. So I don't think,
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Because it is like, I go to every other yoga class and there's a few teachers who it's just like,
yeah. Well, that's definitely inspired by Katonah yoga.
Right, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah. Big love on my life.
I'm super sore every time I go to that class.
Yeah. I hope it's in the good way.
I have to go to a physical therapist, but that's a whole nother story. Not about your class, but about something else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you're here, actually. Actually, medical bills because of your Katonah class.
And here it is.
Right. How did you get into the Katonah?
It came to me from different directions. Josie Schweitzer, she used to live here, and she owned 2 studios in Columbus. At the same time, I saw the training coming from about Katonah from teachers from Europe.
Okay.
It just kind of happened within like few weeks. I'm like, this, whatever that is,
it's a sign.
It's very interesting to me. And then I took that training, it was online training, and I was just in awe, very confused, but deep down inside, the material felt very familiar, like I already know it.
Huh.
It's almost like I had to relearn it.
Right.
And that was it. And I just started, it gave me information. It gave me the answers to why that I couldn't find in just a classical teacher training. And, it gave me an opportunity to really look inside from a very different perspective.
What do you think it is about it in particular that brings that?
Nevine, who basically developed a method, let's put it this way. Mm-hmm. I think what she did, she just saw like different modalities, because it's Chinese medicine, it's Kundalini and Hatha yoga, it's geometry, it's this esoteric conversation through the metaphors, numerology, so much more to it that even like it's somatic for me. it like I really saw that it's like 3-dimensional rather than 2-dimensional. And it just moves your imagination in a way that you would not expect to be moved in that way. First, I learned about joints, about organs. I have organs. Oh yeah, they're moved. Oh, that's what happens when I'm actually practicing yoga.
Right.
Glands. And it was going along with somatic therapy at the same time. Katonah, and then dance and movement, and then somatic. I'm like, I am whatever that is. I'm in a good place.
Right.
I know this is it. I know, like, this is it. This is what I'm doing for sure.
The pieces all kind of...
They're all just coming together
right.
constantly. And then whenever I talk about this material, whenever I have somatic therapy sessions, Katonah comes in. It kind of waves, you're kind of stitching that theory. And then there in the Katonah, 101 or in the classes, same way I can see how somatic aspect comes in, and it's a beautiful dance. Yeah, it made me understand the world, the way the patterns, the way the world is, and how I can function in this world. It gave me very practical tools to use, applicable, accessible tools. Because there's one of the things is that all of the tools are available, like always Nevine says, it's, the world is open book. Anything is available right now. Now we're getting too much information. Now we don't know how to navigate it. And I heard somebody say, I can't remember right now who was it, but she said something like this: we're having the tools, but really the mastery of the tools and knowing what, when, and how to use it.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need much, but know when, what, and how to use it.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's when with Katonah material, I was able to put my life back together.
How would you describe Katonah yoga to somebody who's never
done
come across it
yoga
before? Yeah,
it's kind of like with somatic therapy.
Right.
Just come to the class. Come to the session. Like, I'll give you just like a free session.
Right.
Come to my session. Because this is like, it's impossible to describe an experience.
Sure, but what if you're on, like, say, a podcast and somebody's like, what actually is Katonah yoga?
Yeah, I would probably say just a method developed by Nevine Michaan that includes or involves Hatha yoga, Kundalini, breath work, geometry, metaphor,
Okay.
Chinese medicine,
Okay.
Tao, main principles of Tao.
Yeah,
and it's constantly evolving.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it until your class in the... Yeah, I'd never come across it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think you've learned anything about yourself, or that you've learned anything? I don't know. It's impossible to say. I've learned things about myself since living in Columbus that I hadn't known before, but I don't know if they're about Columbus or if they're about me, or if it would have been different. But I think every place you ends up teaching you something.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Why is there so much about Columbus?
Oh, I don't know. Because I'm thinking about getting out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it about New York that you learned about yourself?
That I am bad with money. God, wow, so many things. That's... Give
me like 3 or 4.
Good Lord. That I am, positive things, that I am stronger than I thought I was, for sure. Resilient. But also that I am not good at doing networky things, which I think actually kind of feeds into, we were talking about the first impressions and how I come off as kind of, and I think that's kind of goes hand in hand in a way.
Okay.
I just don't have networky things. I don't have patience for it. I don't like the dynamic of, like, because with filmmaking, there's a lot of, like, networking events, and the dynamic is always like, we're talking to each other because we want to work what we want. And I just don't like that dynamic. Yeah. What camera did you use for the...
I hear you. I hear you.
And also that I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I was at 4.
Yeah, that's plenty. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
just
I had
whatever
a
first
shit ton
pops.
of debt when I left, so that's yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the first.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
that you
really
fed with money.
no, I mean, I had to leave because I was in a shit ton of debt, and I was just like, this is unsustainable. But it was fun. It was fun to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. By the way,
You
Katonah.
are since you're like, you know, such a creative soul. What inspires you right now?
Wow, turn this around. I like it. I don't know. I mean, it's an easy answer, but like this podcast is really like, the more I've done it and the more I've thought about what it's bringing into my world, it's really been a positive thing for me personally at this point in my life. Like it feels like, and maybe I'm just saying this because I'm doing it, but like it's been in my head for a while, the idea for this, just to like, and now that I'm actually doing it, and I'm really like, it's been a while since I've done creative work on my own, you know, and like had the motivation to do it and actually done it. And it's been good in a self-esteem way. Like I'm fucking proud of myself, but also in a way that like I'm having long conversations, and it's interesting to like, the more conversations I have, the more I realize how I converse and I think about conversation. And it's really been good and interesting in a way. And I'm getting better at talking to people randomly than I was before in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been a lot.
You're learning something about yourself. Yeah.
It's been good. The process itself has really been just kind of really rewarding in a way. So yeah.
And sometimes that's all it really takes.
Right.
If you're going to have a good conversation with a person, you know, and that's what it takes to create a podcast, then why not?
Right. I mean, if we need it, I mean, honestly, part of the origin story of this is that my nephew was here. He's 14 years old. He came and stayed with me like 2 or 3 months ago. And again, I've been thinking about this for years, but I haven't really thought about it for a while. And then he was here, and he's a teenager, so he's not that chatty. But I was like, do you want to record a podcast? And as soon as he got headphones on, he started talking to me in ways that he had never talked before. He's talking about how it feels to run. And it was like, oh, bing, you know?
This is awesome.
Because it does open people up in a weird way, you know, to say, this is the expectation of us right now. Is we're going to sit and have a conversation. Yeah. And we're going to find a way to do that, whatever, you know? Yeah. And I think it's nice in a way. I think there's like the idea of forced conversation, whatever the context is really kind of like, it seems weird, but it's actually, like maybe I'll have some like fucking crazy person in here at some point who will be like, I'm never doing that again. But yeah, it's been really, and I've reconnected with like old friends that I haven't talked to in a while, just because, well, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting because whenever we sat down, like, oh, that is weird. Can we just have a conversation? But as we're more into the conversation, I see how that would be amazing for relationships. Yeah. For couples. For, you know, I right away, as soon as you told me about your nephew, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to have conversation with my brother's children, because it's impossible to have a conversation with them.
If you're making a podcast.
And we're making a podcast? Oh, yeah.
Because they get that.
Yeah, exactly.
They know how to do that game. Yeah. They understand media, right? Right.
And it's just their filter. This is their cup of coffee, you know. I'm going to have a coffee and they're going to like, let's do the podcast.
And the other part is like, if it was a normal conversation, like if we had, it lulls, like the conversation has to continue. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's a big part of it too. Like we're going to talk for a little while, and we're going to talk for at least this, you know, and yeah. And so the conversation, I have a list of questions just in case at some point, you know. But yeah, it's made me think. I've done a lot of like interesting thoughts about just conversations and the nature of the fact that this is the context, that it needs a context is kind of both great and also sad in the world we're living in, right? Because we need the context of, yes and. Right, you know? Improv.
Yeah, exactly. It's yes and. Because then you're actually preparing. Yeah. You prepared, so you're just here not just taken for granted. Sure. And I'm sitting here not taken for granted, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is I'm enjoying this, you know.
Yeah, and people are it's surprising, like I've just reached out to random people some people that just randomly are interested in, and just reach out and ask, and they're like usually yes. And it's so interesting to me because I'm not sure why I expect them to say no, but like it speaks to me in a way that like people want to talk, you know,
Yeah.
people want to, yeah. So,
And that's just, it gives another good excuse, if you really think about it, to actually have a longer conversation. In the real world, you would just, disappear in the phone, disappear in awkward moment or a pause where, I'm gonna go now. No, let's just stay in this awkwardness. It is awkward. It is uncomfortable. Nobody likes pauses,
right.
But you also don't want to over chat it. And right now, even just sitting here and reflecting on it, it's like, yeah, it's, I will remember this.
Oh, it's good to know. See?
I will. Maybe like in 10 years, I'm going to be having like many podcasts or, but I will remember this one because this is a new experience.
Oh, well, I'm
and
glad.
This is not type of experience of like, well, I'm not being expert.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I'm just being a human with
Yeah.
all my flaws and
Yeah.
all my stuff, just like you are.
That's what I want the thing to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you saying that.
Absolutely.
The last question that I ask people is, what do you think happens when we die?
You know what? He just asked me this question, and I see in the hallway this light you have with like a rainbow-ish.
Yeah, I got that. Timu. Yeah.
Because you can kind of see it into the, it's almost like the, flying in the spaceship into the black hole.
Like a vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. That would be my answer.
Oh, all right. The answer is
the
vortex.
It's just the whatever that is.
I'll accept that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most succinct answer we've gotten so far, and I appreciate that.
What does it mean, succinct?
Short and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
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 What made you particular this kind of question?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't really like it, honestly, but I feel like I should have some question that for some reason, I feel like there should be some question that I ask everybody at the end of the podcast. You know what I mean? I don't know why. Maybe it's because I listen to too many podcasts, and that seems to be a thing. So, yeah. And then when I was doing the first one, that was the answer I landed on at the last minute. And that was the question, rather. And so I've been sticking with it. But really open to suggestions on end questions, because I can, yeah. Oftentimes we get to the death thing before the end. Weirdly enough, yeah, which is good. We didn't do it this time. It speaks good.
I think what inspires you could be a fun addition to the questions, to the list of the questions.
What inspires you? Yeah, that's on the list. All right, what inspires you then?
I'm saying like in general, like for your list, for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's because we often go into like what's wrong, what's this, what that. Like, what inspires you? What brings you joy? What do you?
Yeah, it's hard because we so rarely sit and reflect. At least I don't. I mean, it's not a pro reflection world we live in right now. It's not a pro.
Like contemplative sitting.
Yeah, no, it's not a lot of that. Not a lot of that. You have to do it. You have to make an effort to do it, as opposed to. I have a friend who's on like a 10-day silent retreat right now, and I am curious to know, because I don't think I could. No phone, nothing, no talking, not even exercise.
Is it Vipassana?
Yeah. Have you done this? How long have you done it for?
11 days.
Wow.
Basically, it's 11, like I think you go 10 days and then like 11th day, you're still there, you're catching up and integrating. And
I feel like it's like a first 3, 4, 5 days that you're like resisting, and then eventually something breaks. But that's how I feel like I would do it. Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
There's no
it's like I could do like 3 days, I feel like maybe, but really, and what does that say about me, that I am so afraid of just being with myself for 3 days straight? I don't know.
Well, let's put this way. Remember what, when, and how you do it. Is it really about being afraid? And it's like, that's why Vipassana is done the way it's done. You go with other people. You sharing the experience is very important. you are in this together.
Even if you don't talk to them about it, you're still...
You know it. People will cry. People will first thing that people usually do, they escape. They run away.
Right.
They go into the woods and then they come back. Some people don't come back.
Right. They just off into the woods forever.
Forever, yeah, exactly. And, you can take it as a defeat, or you can just hey, maybe this tool, it's not the tool, what, when, and how, right? Yeah. So maybe what is not this, maybe it's something else. This is when we get sometimes stuck in those, if it's a cold plunge, then for everyone, maybe it's not.
Right.
If it's sauna, is it for every season? No, maybe it's not. If this is, hormonal therapy, is it for everyone? No. So this is your choice, Do you need to do 10 days or you can do just one and start with that?
Right. I think some people probably go into experience like that, with expectations on themselves that they have to do this for themselves. And I think that that's when they get into a spiral of feeling defeated and, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
When you're expecting yourself to be able to. Have you ever had any profound psychedelic experiences?
I did.
Do you want to talk about it?
I would say this way. Till this day, I think still that more of people, relationships, and things that I've done myself been more transformative for me than psychedelic journeys.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was one very profound that kind of just I remember till this day. And I'm still doing the same mistakes, and I'm still kind of following my own patterns,
Right.
I think it's, for me at least, the way I see it is of opening, expanding, just bigger, whatever it is.
It zooms out. It zooms out.
Yeah, or zooming all the way in into something.
Right. Yeah. The zooming out is a thing I always get. I'm able to see the big picture in a way that I've never seen it before, and I'm like, oh, this is interactions become so transparent in a strange way. It all becomes very, yeah. It's like seeing from some sort of a bird's eye view or something. I don't know how to put it. Yeah. Anyway. Nastia, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It was a wonderful conversation. I feel like I get to know you better, and I really love that. So,
my pleasure.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being a killer yoga teacher. Do you want to promote anything, by the way, while you're here? I don't know.
I'm a somatic therapist here in Columbus, Ohio.
All right.
And I'll share the link on my website.
Put it in the show notes. All right, in the old show notes. Cool.
That's how I do it.
And if you ever get a chance, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, go to one of her classes. I love them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that was Anastasija Katcyna. Truly grateful that she was open to just sitting down and having a conversation with a random yoga student, and that she seemed to enjoy it as much as I did. So thank you, Stasia. It was wonderful to get to know you beyond the yoga teacher you that I knew before. You can learn more about Anastasija and her yoga and somatic therapy offerings at sijasomatics.com. That's sijasomatics.com. And you can follow her on Instagram at Anastasija_Katcyna. That's ANASTASIJA_KATCYNA. I'll put all that and everything else in the show notes. You can follow this podcast on Instagram at onefjefpod, and you can email the podcast at onefjefpod@gmail.com. And now you can call and leave a voicemail for the podcast that I will probably play on a future show at 669-241-5882. So that's exciting. That number again is 669-241-5882. Tell me who you are, your thoughts on the show, your biggest fears, what inspires you, etc., etc. Anything at all will bring me joy. Finally, please take a moment to write a quick review of this podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, or just give it 5 stars, or subscribe, whatever. Any kind of engagement helps tell the all-powerful algorithms that this show is worthy to boost, or whatever it is that the algorithms actually do. It helps. I think I've run out of ways to express my gratitude to you, the listener, for continuing to put this show in your ear holes every week. So I'll just keep it simple. Thank you so much for listening. I would give you all a big hug if I could. I'll see you next week.
Very good, Jeffrey.